So, first of all, I would like to say welcome back to the channel. It's a rainy day in Dallas. There's not really a whole lot we can do. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to a store I know of to pick up some ant repellent stuff for my mom because they've got a real bad ant situation. Parked up on this curb right here. And then we're gonna head back to the house. But other than that, it's an absolute disaster here. As messy and as rainy as it is. There's just, unfortunately, not a lot that can be done. But you guys will get a chance to kind of hear what the motor sounds like with the new exhaust and the new air intake. And kind of, hopefully, you'll get a little bit of a sound reference to the whooshing sound I referred to earlier on in one of my other videos from the air intake. I'm not sure how much I'm going to be able to do because, like I said, it's so rainy. And on these 35s, they are a mud terrain tire, but they can get a little squirrely. And so I don't know if you can hear it, but she sounds great. Right now I'm using the GoPro because, as we've discussed, the GoPro mount that I purchased for the windshield, it will only be used for the GoPro now officially. I think for the most part it's going to do what we need it to do for little things like this, where we can just kind of talk while I'm on the road. I would rather it be the Canon, but I purchased a GoPro. I guess I should probably use it, right? Like I told you guys before, but one of the issues that I have is the transmission is not shifting properly through the gears. One of the gears that I'm missing is 5th gear. My dice is in the way. One of the gears that I'm not able to get is 5th gear, which is the overdrive gear for these Dodge 68 RFE transmissions. Through 1st, 2nd, 3rd, into 4th, no problem. I have no issue there, but it's just, for some reason, 4th gear going into 5th is not gonna happen. Very disappointed about that because, like I said, whenever I took the truck over to the shop to get the motor changed, we didn't have any issues with the transmission whatsoever, other than shifting it into drive. That was the only issue we had. If I just moved it down like I can now, it would just hit neutral and it wouldn't go past. I actually had to shift pretty tough, but for the most part, I'm not really so much worried about that part of it. I would say now, if I could go back to the point where I had to slam it into drive and get my 5th gear back, I would take that over what I'm getting right now, because I don't like that I can't use my overdrive. I'm using way too much gas, so my mileage, my gas mileage is going down while I'm having to refuel more often because I just don't have that overdrive. So it makes it a little bit more difficult. I'm also kind of scanning the area because we had like a really severe weather storm last night with high winds, and a lot of trees and stuff that I've seen so far are intact, but I have seen a few where the trees have actually come down. And I just left work, that's where we were at, and apparently it blew our lockers out from underneath our canopy and kind of tumbled across the parking lot. So everything that I had in my locker was virtually destroyed, other than a very important piece of equipment that I need to do my job. We were able to get that, and also a ballpoint pen. So shout out to you, Bic, for making a very good pen. Other than that, I really don't have anything on the setup for today because, like I said, the weather's bad. We did do a few mods yesterday. I did not record because I have this overall conscience of people watching me and, you know, going into places that don't know I record, and I'm walking in, I've got a camera in their face. It can be a little intimidating. So you don't necessarily want to just go into places with cameras, especially the location in which I go to. I would say they are a great place as far as the company is concerned that does my work. I love the guys there. They do a very good job. They're very genuine. They go out of their way to make sure that they're helping you. If for some reason, you know, you need to ask some stupid questions, they're not the guys that are going to be like, duh, it's this. You know, they're really good. They answer your questions. The area in which they're located is not the best of locations to just walk into with a camera. I guess I'm going to go because nobody else is. And we're going to go into this little feed store here. Yeah, so you don't just walk into places like that and just start recording, because you could get yourself into a lot of trouble, not with necessarily the company, but with customers that are there that don't want themselves to be recorded. I think if you guys can read between the lines, you may understand what it is that I'm talking about. But it's one of those things where, like, this store, I don't know how these people are. It's not that the location is not a good location. It's just that I don't know how they're gonna look at me walking in with a camera. So also, like I said, I still have that little bit of nervousness about walking into certain locations and just being like, hey, I'm recording, I'm looking for some ant killer, you know, like, can you help me out, bud? And I've got a camera in their face. Like, that's not something that necessarily people want. But in the meantime, you should know that I am working on developing a little bit more nerve, I guess you could say, to go to locations and do certain things. And I actually brought it up to them yesterday while they were doing the work on the truck, that I'm doing YouTube. And honestly, what they had to say about that, nothing. It just kind of, they weren't really interested in hearing it. Now, that doesn't at all mean that they're bad guys for not being interested in it. It just means that they just really don't care. And you know, just like if somebody walks up to you and says, hey, my mom made an apple pie yesterday, you may not give a crap, you know, you may just be like, all right, and keep walking, because you don't know that person's mother, you don't know what her apple pie is like, and you don't really care to know about his or her mom's apple pie. So that's kind of why I say, like, it's one of those things where me saying, hey, I do YouTube, to some that are interested might be like, oh, really? Well, what's your channel? You know, let me check it out. And then others may be like, go and keep on going about their merry little way, because not everybody's going to stop and indulge in conversation that to them is useless. So yeah, we're going to go in here, we're going to get this bag of stuff, and we'll go from there. So stay tuned. Okay, so we're going to discuss a little bit about what we got done now that we're back inside the truck from the store. As you can see, the window tint, we redid the window tint. It was getting tacky, it was turning blue. There was a lot of scrapes and scratches from, I guess, where the people had the window down about halfway, and they kept putting their arm up here, and, you know, the different seams on their jackets or something would scratch up the surface of the tint up here on the top. So we ended up redoing this, and it was getting a little bit of nicks and cracks and scratches where people's things would hit the windows. So we redid both of the windows here on the front so that you kind of get a better idea. It's not as dark, obviously, but what it does inevitably is, from the outside, they look a lot more alike. They're not as obviously different as they were before. Also, you'll notice a new toy. So we got the JVC radio. It is a touchscreen. It does everything that I need for it to do. It's really, really good for what I paid for it. It's really good. And sounds good. It does exactly what I need it to do. It's absolutely perfect with what I've got going on. Also, we got a brand new alarm. We got a Viper alarm. So one of the things I'm very, very specific on is, anytime you do a new radio, you need to have an alarm. Anytime you start putting technology into your vehicle and you go that route, you have to have a good system to protect what you are putting into your vehicle. It's like an investment. It's like in a house. If you've got a brand new flat screen TV that you bring into the house, that's like a, I don't know, a 75 inch or whatever. I don't even know if they make a 75 inch, but anyway, you just bought this brand new TV and people could possibly see you potentially pulling it into the house. So you want to make sure that your house is protected so that nobody comes in while you're not there and breaks in and grabs your brand new TV. So what do? You make sure you put a good alarm on your house. That's one of the things that you kind of have to go into with a vehicle as well, is you protect your investment. This for me is an investment. This truck and everything that's in it, it is mine. I've bought this. Everything that I've done to this truck, I've done myself. When I got this truck, it was stock. It's completely factory. There was nothing on here that wasn't aftermarket. Nothing on here was aftermarket when I bought the truck. So everything that I've done is mine. So I'm going to protect that. And by doing that, I put on a good security system. It's a top-of-the-line security system by Viper. So I get a really nice remote. And what I'll do is I'll take this off and I'll show you. This is my remote. It does everything I need. I have remote start and everything that it needs to do by this little keypad. And the funny thing about this one is it's USB charged. So at night, whenever I'm laying down, I can charge this and I don't have to replace batteries. So that's a really, really good thing I really liked about this. Also, they make a program that you can purchase, say with your alarm, that will give you the ability to download an app. And it gives you the ability to do exactly what the remote does and more. It could be something that you guys could look into on your own. I do not have the app yet, but once we get that, it's going to be really cool to be able to just turn my phone on. I can open my app on my phone, start the truck. It'll be warming up while I get up, get ready, grab my keys, and I can hit the road. So it's pretty cool. It'll be fun to play around with that. But other than that, really, I mean, the best thing about this radio is the hands-free communicating, being able to answer the phone from the radio, call someone from the radio. I've got a microphone that's mounted down here, and I can kind of show you that. This is an incredible thing here. This is actually the microphone and the USB port to plug in if I want to access my maps. It only does the app through your phone. So I can use Google Maps, which is constantly being updated, and it's gonna stay relative forever as long as I have the radio, for sure. So that's one of the things that I'm really excited about. I haven't played with that part of it yet. There's a lot of things that I haven't played with, seeing as we just did this yesterday. So there's gonna be some things that I'm gonna play with, and we'll go from there. So in a sense, there's really nothing else to do. So we'll go ahead and we'll record the way home and see what we run into. Such a mess out here today. This is insane. The weather, it's been horrible. And then I would find the only street that's under construction. Go in here to QT because, contrary to popular belief, there's something about making your own coffee, and I'm more of an original kind of guy. I'm not too fond of like 17 different flavors that you can get. Backing this truck up can be miserable because you can't see the poles that are at this place because they're so much lower than the truck. So you kind of have to gauge your length in where you are relative to kind of like, I guess you could say, your feelers. Like, you know, you just kind of know where your vehicle is at all times while you're driving it, where the rear end is, where the front end is, so you know when you can clear something, and then sometimes you think you can clear something and then you can't. Well, we're gonna see just how close I got to this stupid pole behind me right now. I would say not too bad. I know that's a lot of sugar. Hazelnut. Having fun today? Don't lie to me. Doing all right, man?
Yeah, I'm all right. How's it going?
Good, good, good.
485.
And she's already started. I love it. That means she's ready to go. Now this noise, you're gonna be like, oh my God, what the flip is that? Take a second to discuss. So, with Dodge, they have this blend door actuator thing that's underneath the dash. It controls the flap that actually controls your outside air to inside air, as well as heat to AC. And there's these little contraptions that are on wheels. Well, Dodge made this part as cost efficient as possible with the cheapest plastic cog wheels that they could possibly put on it. And once you put them in, the cog wheels over a period of time dry rot and they end up breaking off. And you get this clicking noise. It is ungodly the amount of times that you have to listen to this. It's at least 12 times. You have to hear them communicate with each other in their own foreign language just while you're waiting on your vehicle to warm up. It's frustrating and it's very, very annoying. And I've replaced 2 out of the 3 or 4 or 17 that this truck has in it. I guess that's another thing I should have added to the things I don't like about this truck. But honestly, if I were to take it to Dodge, they would fix it. They would charge me probably 200 bucks, which is outrageous. But chances are that would actually fix it and I wouldn't have to worry about it anymore. So it's almost like, should I take a trip to Dodge or not? Not today. Yeah, so we're gonna go back home. I guess this is pretty much it because like I said, I mean, you guys see the weather, the way it is, it's just terrible. There's not a lot I can do. I can't really film anything. You've seen the radio, you've seen the alarm, you've seen the window tint. You've pretty much seen what Dallas looks like today, yesterday, and what it'll probably look like tomorrow. So, appreciate it. Make sure you guys like and subscribe. Hit the bell, that way you guys can stay up to date on all the notifications and things that are coming up for the channel. We've got other things that we want to do. We haven't even started really going into the inside of the truck the way that I want to. I've got a lot of other things planned for this truck involving, well, I'm not going to tell you. We just have to subscribe and come back and watch every video until you finally see the reveal of what we're doing for the interior. But on that note, we'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.